make sure that, last night I was on one and then the computer just did its thing. So I just want to say greetings to everybody who's coming on tonight. Tonight we're coming back with the school of initiations, and we're going to be talking about um, the highest initiations within Freemasons and what does it all mean? What is the end game in becoming a Freemason and being initiated into these? What is the end game after you have received all of your various degrees, Scottish Rite, York Rite, primitive rites, whatever you want to call it? What is the end game? What are you looking to accomplish after you have received and gotten and just done this? What are your thoughts? Where are you trying to go with this? And tonight we're going to be looking at this. We're going to have that conversation again. Last night, like I said, it just didn't happen. So tonight we're going to see it for what it is. We're going to talk about the end game, the process of becoming a Mason, and going through the initiation. What does it all mean in the end? And I will guarantee you this: most of us who get initiated never go back and view the initiation. We don't go back, read the obligation. That's including the sisters too, because they have what you call appending bodies or upper houses. They don't go back and read this stuff. They don't do it. And I don't know why, but they don't. So here we are. I just want to welcome everybody aboard as we get into this. And we're going to talk about the end game. And I'm going to give you the answer that I came up with as I was reading and kind of trying to see for myself, because this journey that we're on is your journey. So what are you trying to accomplish? I can tell you and share with you as far as the degree work that we have. I can tell you and share with you as far as what's going on with that. But what is that end game? So what I want to do is that if you want to call it to the show tonight, and for those administrative individuals that are coming on, please do put up the phone number. We certainly would appreciate it. Also, people are asking, okay, how can you make a donation? If you would like to make a donation to this particular program, you can do that at Hosea, that's HOSEA, Lodge, LODGE, at yahoo.com. That would be through the PayPal. So if you want to do that, you're certainly welcome to do that. And please, whatever you do, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button for me tonight. We certainly would appreciate it. I don't even know if that came through or not. Yeah, hit the thumbs up button for me. I'm trying to see how can I get this to really happen for me as far as live streaming. If the picture is okay, would you please hit something in the thing so I know that it's okay? Because last night I was having a fit, man. It just wasn't working out. Malcolm Prophet, good day to you. How you doing, sir? Terrell, what's going on with you? Great. So look, last night, as you know, we were talking about the end game. Greetings, brother Robert Bonner. What's up? Greetings to you. Last night we was talking about the end game and what does it mean for the Freemason or the sister of the Order of the Eastern Star who gets all of these degrees. Then what? What are you looking to accomplish? And why do so many people who have been successful in life or who are successful in life want to become Mason? And why is it that a person who have not, it is not wise for you when you have not to become a Mason? I'm just going to let you know that right now. And you may be saying, well, why is it that a poor person, one who doesn't have much, why is it not wise for that person to become a Mason? If you can't help yourself, my brother or sister, you can't help nobody in the lodge or in your chapter. It's not wise right now. The first thing you must understand, if you're going to go on this journey or embark on this journey, you're going to have to take care of your family first. That's where your proving grounds is at. Once you are proven that you can take care of your family and that you are in a stable situation, then I can say, okay, do it. But until then, work on those attributes that right there before you, because it ain't cheap to be a Mason. A lot of people can talk a lot of noise about this. Look, it costs. And people say, well, why does it cost for the knowledge and for this and that? Freemason, Order of the Eastern Stars, a brotherhood, a sisterhood. It binds all men together of various creeds in backgrounds of faith. That's what it does. And Freemasonry, long ago, you were selected to be a Mason or an Eastern Star. It wasn't something that to be one as one's a new thing. To be one as one is a new thing. I'm just going to give it to you the way it is. It is a new thing. It's a late 90s, early 80s thing. That's what that is. That was created by mainstream Grand Lodges. But in order to be a Mason or an Eastern Star, you were selected. That's what made the organization so unique. You received a letter, you were selected. People and individuals watch you as you matured, as you grew. This is why they had their own ground, their own youth fraternity. Okay, because they were selected. This is why you had that. You know? So those things that we look at, those things that we appreciate in Freemasonry, in the Order of the Eastern Star, you were selected. That's why you had to be a mother, a daughter, a widow, a wife. You know, you had to be part of the family in order to be a Mason and Eastern Star, because you were selected. But now, to be one acts one. When I went back and started doing some reading, long before this term to be one acts one came out, I had to understand and look at who were Masons at that time. If you go back long ago, you would see very prominent people proud to be a Mason. Okay? Very proud to be a Mason. Be it Thurgood Marshall, a Mason. Not just a Prince Hall Mason, but a Mason, period. Okay? Let's just have some understanding about that. Then we're going to look at Maya Angelou, an Eastern Star. So when you look at these two individuals, very well off now, mind you, Maya Angelou, she didn't, you read her life, she was, whew, she just didn't all of a sudden become an Eastern Star. She waited till she was mature, she was well engaged, she was of age, and she was stable in her life, because she did not have a stable life before she became an Eastern Star. When you look at somebody like Nat King Cole, who became a Mason, these individuals that I'm naming was prominent individuals, especially within the African American community. They had to remain safe. There's no safer place in the world if you're true to who you are amongst your people. I'm going to say this: there's no safer place in the world if you're true to who you are amongst your own people. You can say what you want to say, do what you want to do, and go where you want to go, but there's no safer place in the world. That's a fact. So as we look at Freemasonry in the Order of the Eastern Star, in what we call the School of Initiation, in the end game, later today, I'm going to share with you my thoughts on the end game and what I've come across personally as I begin my second journey, going back over some old information, some books I had, and finding new stuff as I go along. I went back into the Scottish Rite Ritual. If you're a Scottish Rite Mason, you should have the volume 1 and 2. I know some people don't pretty much prescribe to that, but get that volume 1 and 2. Let me tell you why you get that. It has footnotes at the bottom. Okay, Scottish Rite volume 1 and 2. If you are a Scottish Rite Mason or York Rite Mason, it has footnotes at the bottom. I really enjoy reading those footnotes. Along the way, as you begin to read the Scottish Rite volume 1 and 2, please drop yourself some breadcrumbs along the way, because that journey is going to be disturbing in a sense, because most of us don't understand the process for which we went through in this thing we call Freemasonry in order of these things start. Somewhere we missed it. And in the process of missing it, we just think we're part of a happy, this is a great fraternity. I'm happy. I'm happy. No, there's more to this than just being happy that you are part of the group of individuals or people that you think that you can call on anytime you feel like it, and they're going to be there in an instant at a drop. Now, I would say this, that may be so in some cases, but that's that relationship that you build across boundaries. That's how you get there. That's how you get there. So as we grow in Freemasonry, understand the initiation process is binding. Every initiation that a person takes in Freemasonry, it is a binding. You're more binding to the organization. And when you become a 33rd, you are married to the organization. Oh, you didn't know that. Hear me again. When you become a 33rd degree, you become married to the organization. That's some deep shit. It is. Come on now. Talk back to me, somebody, tonight. You know, it is truly, it is what it is. You know, it is truly that. You know, if you're going to do that, that's what it's going to get you. That is exactly what is going to get you. You know, so we have to really understand that. Let me see, this brother said, married in what sense? Married. What is marriage? When you define marriage, you understand what you got yourself into. I ain't got to lie to you. I don't have to lie to you. I don't have a reason. And most of you I know, some I don't know. But this is my band. This is my ring. That's my ring. Okay? Let me see if you can see this. Can you see my ring here? That's my ring. Okay? So when I tell you marriage, yeah, there's only 2 times you get a Masonic ring. Only 2. Lodge of Affection and your 33rds are the only 2 times you're supposed to have a ring, because they're considered classes. Okay? Lodge of Affection and 33rd are the only time you get a ring. Your 14th degree is considered a class, also your 33rds. They're class. But when you become a 33rd, I ain't going to tell you where, but if you are a 33rd, you know what it says. You know exactly what it says. You're married to the fraternal order. It's on a whole nother level. It is on a whole nother level. And when you begin to put it together, that journey you on, if you are serious about the journey, it's going to take you somewhere. Everything that you were involved with, everything that happens around you, it should be able to take you somewhere. And when I say happens around you, if you are on a ride at the circus, at the fair, wherever you may go, if you're on a ride, you're on a destination. Even if it's back to the beginning of where you started from, you're on a destination, and such as this thing we call Freemasonry, because we said we're traveling, we said we're on a journey. You're destined to end up somewhere besides the grave. What I believe, your connection is unstable. Please wait a while we try to reconnect. Could you tell me if I'm like buffering or anything like that? Could someone please put in the chat room if I'm buffering or anything like that? Greetings to all that is coming on. Brother Brandon Lewis, what's up, man? Appreciate you. True Soul, I likes that. Greetings, Brother Bonner. Appreciate everybody that's coming on. Truth, greetings. Rob Lewis, Rob Lowe, I'm sorry. What's up, Rob? What's up, man? All right, just checking to make sure I'm not buffering. It said I was buffering. All right, appreciate it. So this is where we're at with this thing called Freemason in the order of the Eastern Star. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that I'm part of what they call the primitive rites. And I can share with you what I've learned. I don't mind. There's no, everything in the primitive rites gets to be more esoteric than anything else. It's just like going to the movies and you're waiting for the movies to start. And all of the previews are Masons. All of the previews are the initiated degrees, that's all Freemasons. So they're showing you all of the previous stuff. But then when the movie come on and the light dims, now you're at the movies. That is what primitive rites has done for me. Okay? Once again, primitive rites is just like going to the movies. You have the previews is I would say the previews is Freemasons. You know, the previews is the initiation, inner apprentice, fellowcraft, master mason, Scottish Rite, York Rite, all of that. That's the previews. And then when the movie comes on and the lights dim, to me, that's the essence of Freemasonry. It's found in the primitive rites because it's all esoteric. It's all allegories. It breaks it all down to you. And if you're not ready for it, then you're just not ready for it. Because I tell you what, some of you wouldn't be a Mason if you read some of the footnotes from the Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2. And if you became a member of the primitive rites, some of you will have to shake your head too, because it will shake you. It would. It will. If you weaken your faith, I tell you that. You can't be weak in your faith. So, with that being said, let's go a little bit further. All right, let's go a little bit further. I had to bring out this is what I call my black book. I got a lot of notes in this particular book, and I'm going to be sharing some stuff with you. And I want you to kind of look up what I'm saying, because I had to find this for myself, and this is just some footnotes that I got, and I'm going to share it with you. So when I talk about the end game in Freemasonry, because you are on a journey, you're on the outside of you. Okay, you're on the outside of you, only to reflect the whole inside of you. You're on the outside of you, only to reflect the whole inside of you. That's just the journey you're on. Okay, and for one thing, as I said before, once upon a time, and I'm gonna say it again, once upon a time, in order to be a Mason, okay, in order to be an Eastern Star, you were selected. And this is what has happened to our fraternity. We don't select people no more. Okay? We don't select people no more. We don't do that. You know, what we have done is that to be one acts one. So when anybody come up, we want to give them an application. Here's your application, man. Go ahead. Here's your application. No, we have to start selecting. We have to start selecting individuals and people who want to be Freemasons. This is what we have to start doing. You know, if we don't do it, who's going to do it for us? If we don't start selecting people who are going to actually help this organization to move forward, who's going to do it? Because people who is coming to ask one to be one, man, you have to be careful about who they are. What have they done in their life, where they're trying to go. This is what was so special, and still to me is special about Freemasonry. You know? So let's go on from there. So let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at some things. The Masonic Order is a carrier of promises. The Masonic Order is a carrier of promises. Let me tell you why it is a carrier of promises, okay? Every degree that you take in the Order of the Eastern Star, every degree that you take as a Mason, you promise, you vow, you swear. So the Masonic Order is a carrier of promises, vows, and swears. This is why you're married to the organization when you become a 33rd. Cheers. Am I wrong? Hit me up. Somebody can say, no, you're not right. I mean, am I wrong? Come on, somebody talk to me. Am I wrong? As a Mason, as an Eastern Star, I want you to have this understanding. It is a carrier of promises. This is why when you become a 33rd, you become married to the damn thing. But there's an end game, and I share with you in just a minute. Come on, somebody talk back to me now. Don't be shy now. If you want to call in, you can do that. 619-985-1184. Freemasonry, in the order of the Eastern Star, is a carrier of promises. You promise, you swear, you vow in all of your degree work. This is why in the end, once again, you end up married to the fraternal order. That's true. All right, check this out. Freemasons are builders. We can all agree with that, right? From the necessities of the apprenticeship to the necessities of the trial, Freemasons testifies that one could live his life in a healthy and fruitful activity, and this is by his initiation, and he's free to think and do. Check that out. He's free to think and do. Hear me again. Freemasons are builders from the necessities of the apprentice, or some say the apprenticeship, to the necessities of the trial, which is considered the fellowcraft degree in the olden days. And then it goes from there and it says Freemason testifies that one could live his life in a healthy and fruitful activity, free to do and think. Free thinkers. Okay? These are some old notes I got. So I'm just giving to you what I've done, what I've researched. I'm just sharing with you, and you can go do your own. And you can call me and tell me what you come up with, because I'm telling you, this is what I've come to. This end game thing is when I had this another aha moment for me. I was like, God, I didn't see it coming from that direction. I didn't see it coming. Greetings, Brother Larry. How you doing, sir? I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Please, if you want to make a donation to this particular show, as we proceed to do some of the things we said that we would do, as far as giving away 2 books at the end of the month, you can make your donation to Hosea Lodge at yahoo.com. That's through your PayPal app if you have one. We'll get it done. We will get it done that way. So, blessed brother celebrating my birthday. Oh man, when you shouldn't be on here if you're celebrating your birthday. Oh, I forgot you on lockdown. I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. But look, we're talking about the end game. We're talking about the initiations in Freemasonry. We're talking about you're on this journey, and where does it take you? What am I expecting on this journey that you take as a Mason, as an Eastern Star, as a person who's part of these appending bodies, York Rite and Scottish Rite? I'm going to tell you this. On your journey on the York Rite side, which is considered a Christian rite. Oh, yes. The York Rite side of Masons or Masonry is a Christian rite. The Scottish Rite side is a philosophy rite. It is true. Most, as I've said before, most individuals, if they practice Judaism, they're not going to go York Rite. They'll go Scottish Rite, but they're not going to touch the York Rite. On the York Rite side, when you go through those first 7 degrees until you get to the Royal Arch, you go through 7 arcs. Okay, you go through 7 arcs. And once you reach there, you're going through these rites. In the process for you to develop and go through these rites, it's a Christian rite. You can say whatever you want to say. Then after that, you go through what they call the cryptic degree. Some call it the purple house, or cryptic degree. Then you go from there, you go into your Nikes of Malcolm, Nikes of Kadash, your Nikes of this, and your Nikes of Temple. It's all of your nights. And then when you get to this hill called Golgotha, yeah, when you get to the hill of the skulls, where you make these promises and vows and swears, and you say the Apostle Creed, when you say that oath, and when you, are you paying attention to where this thing is taking you to? And don't nobody come up here talking about some Satan, hell, brimstone, and fire either. No. Have you paid attention that if you go to your right side on your first journey, your first step off, where you going to end up at? Greetings, brother. Are you calling the show tonight?
Yes, sir.
Well, holler at me. Talk to me then. Hello? That's the title of the subject tonight, the end games of Freemason. Talk to me. What you want to know?
Okay, so in my studies, Brother Tony, what I came to the conclusion is the end game is the perfection of man and its perfected state.
Okay.
So, when that being said, there's a part in the scripture where Christ says, worship me not, worship him who sent me. So, with that being said, I think Christ is the replica which man he trying to replicate. So, with that being said, I think the end game, like you said, is like to be a high priest, but at the same time, Christ is so big can be. You know, so
I like you already. Absolutely. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, you're getting deep. I like that. I like that one. You're running so neck and neck, brother. It's like being on the Indy 500. The tires are hot on the car. That's for real. The tires are hot on the car, man. You are right on target. And I'm 29 minutes in. I didn't want to just say it like that, but I said it the other night anyway. That is truly the end game. If you look at this thing, this road that you on, this is, let me tell you, if people don't see this, people often say, well, Christ was born poor and he was born in a manger. And no, and I'm going to say no for the final time. Stop spreading that lie. If Christ was born out at that time of year, because we celebrate December for the birthday, he'd have damn near froze. Man, it's cold in the desert, brother. So let's kill that right now. Let's look at for what it was. Okay, when you look in the sky and you see that North Star, that bright and morning star, that Lucifer. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bust somebody's bubble. But when you see that bright and morning star, right? That bring forth that light. That's how the Magi traveled. Am I correct? So when they traveled, they found this child, according to the story, according to the legend, and we know that this has been told multiple times on different types of scales. But on this scale, where we all can kind of learn a little bit, they found this child, and they didn't return back to the Pharaoh. They kept on their journey. And what did they take this child? Frankincense, myrrh, and they jewels, rubies. They took this child gifts and offering. He was well off. Although his father, earthly father, that's a whole nother thing too. Even though his earthly father was a carpenter, per se, or he grew up to be a carpenter. So when you look at this thing, he was not poor. I don't know why people keep saying he was poor. And he was not born in December either, because those who tend to the sheep don't tend to the sheep during winter months like that. They don't. You gonna take him to the cave? Yep. Correct. No, he wasn't the first to do it. Like brother Lewis just put in, he said the Orion belt, and then he's put in born of Virgo, the constellation. Absolutely. He's right. He is absolutely correct. However, most of us are going to look and say this guy's lost his mind. But I'm just saying tonight, the end game is that at the end, you're going to become a high priest. You're supposed to be on such a high level at the end of your journey in Freemasonry. You're going to be considered what we would call a high priest when it's all said and done. When it's all, I mean, literally all of these initiations through all of these particular degrees, when it's all said and done, you're supposed to be right. You're supposed to be, that high. Your Kundalini is supposed to be so blaring, so, man. Go ahead, roll it. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, also, wait a minute, it said it's gonna be a little bitter too. Yeah. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. bro, you need to stop. You need to stop. Ooh, you absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Now, I did a video said that was called "What Your Pastors Won't Tell You." If you are a Freemason, you're into the appending bodies. We deal with that number 7 a lot, right? We talk about the 7 churches. We talk about the 7 wonders. We talk about that 7 a lot. And if you're in Revelation, you know that they talk about the 7 a whole lot. So 7 being, I want to say, a perfect and complete number. And I've often said that you're on this journey, even though just like getting on a roller coaster, it's going to bring you back to the beginning. It's going to be a complete ride, baby. But what we miss in all of this, this is what I think we miss in Masonry. We miss the fact that we don't go back and read and comprehend the very things that we said we wouldn't and would not do. Like somebody said, how is it that you are married to Masonry? How is that? And I said that we make promises and vows and we swear. And the only other time you make promises and vows and you swear is when you're getting married. If you're serious about it, that's the only other time. Now I don't exactly, I know you, but I don't know your degree work as far as if you're a 33rd or not. I don't know that. Okay. And but I'm gonna say this: when you get to that degree work of a 33rd, when you get there, there's gonna be some things that's gonna be taught to you. And I would tell anybody the best thing to do is be initiated at 33rd and not sit and watch a play or somebody lecture you on a 33rd. And I say that because there's nothing like the experience of going through it. This is why when a person becomes a 33rd or on that journey, they should be selected to be a 33rd. Because when you are a 33rd, you're considered the cream of the crop of the organization itself. You're supposed to be that person, that individual who's able to speak upon, I'm not saying be perfect, but be able to speak upon Masonry in such a way of the various degrees and rights till it's impressive upon that person who's learning from you. But if I'm a 33rd, you come to me and you say, hey brother, what do you think about the blazing serpent? What's that? What do you think about the Rosicrucians? Or what do you should be able to have that conversation without giving away secrets per se, without any of that. You should be able to have, if somebody came to me and say, man, what are Masons? I should be able to give you more than just a book version. Masonry is a beautiful organization, veiled in allegory. I should be able to give you something more than that. What I should be able to give you is something tangible. Repeat. Absolutely. But a lot of us, I'm not going to say we don't master it. We just don't have the capability of talking about it. We don't. This is why it was important for those long ago to be selected a Mason. You know, let me tell you. So long ago, before the ideal to be one, ask one came along, people would usually receive they would get a letter in the mail. You've been selected to be a Mason. If you choose to join us, meet us, blah, 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 blah. That would be your interview process. If you don't, you don't. Period. There was none of this, hey man, I got this application. Come on, get it, baby. To be one, ask one, come get it. No, you were selected because people around you watch you as you grew, as you matured. This is why we have our own youth groups these days. Whether it be the Demolaya, whether it be the Fields of Dreams, There's another one Prince Hall have there, and I can't think of it right now. I can't think of their youth group right now. This. Okay. No, when you said that at the end of the show, I'm gonna tell you a true story that just happened here recently. When you say everybody want to be accepted, I just don't want to lose the contents of tonight's show. Nights of Pythagoras. Thank you, brother Lewis. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. I just don't want to lose the contents. But we're gonna tonight. We're gonna close on two things. What you just brought up, okay, and we're gonna close on the end game as far as where you need to end up at after you have made and started this journey as a Freemason. Okay, hold on just a second. Hello, greetings.
Hey, greetings.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to add you to the call, okay? All right, I have another caller. Please give your name, sir.
Hey, greetings. Brother Brad.
All right, brother Bradley, talk to me. Okay, brother Christopher, you still there? All right, brother Bradley, go for it. Talk to me. And I'm gonna say this: that previous show, I'm going to delete that. As much as I love it, it didn't end right. I'm going to delete it. So if you hadn't already seen it, it's going to probably be off probably by tomorrow. But go ahead.
I say so. I might be a little bit off track of what I want to say, but you just said the aim to masonry would be to become a high priest.
Okay.
And just before I call you and the other guests were talking or we're talking about Christianity. My question is, and I'm not saying that what has been said is wrong. My question comes from the angle of what if one is not a Christian?
Well, it's a. I'm glad you brought that up. We're only using the Christian aspect because a lot of brothers on here and sisters may be of that faith. Let's say that faith for the majority part. But if you're not that Christian, whatever is that higher level as far as being a Hindu, as far as being any faith, what is that higher concept? What is that higher level? And that's where masonry is going to take you. That's where it's going to take humanity to. Because if people really go back and read, let me share this here with you. I'm gonna share something with you. What I came across today. This is going to be out of the 12th degree. Okay, I'm gonna share it with you out of the 12th degree. It says, I will devote myself, my heart, my hands to the cause of truth, justice, in the struggle against intolerance, fanaticism, ignorance, and superstitions. In the donation of intemperance, and that I will in all things consider only what is right and just for me to do, and not rather any benefits to myself with results therefore. That's deep. You know, when you this is out of the 12th. Let me see. I apologize. That's out of the 19th degree. This is what we're supposed to be fighting against and fighting for. Humanity. Brother Melvin Little, when he was on the show about him a few weeks ago, he was hell bent on getting that point across. We are fighting for humanity. And, you know, I was listening to him. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go back. People made me go back and read. So when I did, I'm like, oh, he's absolutely correct. So when you think about humanity is beyond what the Christian faith or Hindu or whatever your faith may be. It's beyond that. It's for all people.
Okay, and with that being said, would you agree or disagree that the end game to being a Mason or just to start will be the sum of the one word is love?
Absolutely. But a lot of us can't comprehend that because we're not willing to make the sacrifice.
Or the sacrifice that should be made because that's obviously the person group.
But how many people are willing to make the sacrifice?
Well, it's sad to say that there's a lot that's not willing to do that.
And this is where, you know, when people talk about Freemasons making sacrifice, they do, but it's not a death sacrifice as far as somebody getting on the altar and all that stuff. I mean, come on. But what I'm saying is that the sacrifice that a Mason or Eastern Star makes, or someone who's a part of this organization, when they make that vow, that promise, what they do is they extend themselves and they make that sacrifice. Like I said about a month ago, when my wife, we sleep, she receives a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, well, who is that? She's like, well, somebody that, you know, I know. And I knew the person. They needed some assistance, some help. And they called her. And I was like, yeah, you go ahead, you handle that. I trust her to go ahead and do what she had to do. I knew what was going on. How many of us is willing to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, to go and do exactly that? That's a sacrifice to leave your home that time of morning, going to aid or assist somebody else.
And that's also part of your obligation.
Absolutely. That's why we promise, we vow, we swear.
Always say, always say.
Absolutely. And in the end game, we become married to the fraternity. We do, bruh. We do. I don't know your level of degrees. I don't know. I don't know your initiation rites. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know. In the end, this is where it's going to end up at. That's going to be your journey. Your journey is going to be on a higher level. It's going to be one of a high priest, like the brother Christopher said earlier, as far as the Kundalini is concerned, your thought process is not going to be where everybody else is at. This is why he was like saying, I think, Brother Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. This is why I think you were saying, in scripture says that Christ says, my way is not necessarily your way. My thoughts are not, is not your thoughts. You know, so when you see that, and I'm only comparing it from a Christian point of view. It could be in any of the holy books or volumes of sacred law. It could be in any of them. But we're striving to be that God-like. We are. That's what we're striving to do. But most of us don't want to make the sacrifice to do it, including myself. Let's get one thing straight. That's including me too. There's some times I'll be like, nah, that's all right. I'm going out tonight. I need to get I'm going out tonight. I mean, I'm real, you know.
Well, my question, it wasn't so much to say that, okay, I am a Christian or I'm not a Christian. So
no, I got that. We cool with that.
Yeah, my question mostly stems from, how can I say it? I'll say it like this. In all of my travel, I've come to this, in studying, researching, so forth and so on. I've come to the conclusion that Masonry itself, because Masonry, let me take a Katie out. I'm sorry. Masonry itself, if you know it being a 30, I'm only up to 32.
Okay. Sublime Prince, Raw Secrets.
Sublime Prince of the World Secret.
Yep.
Past worshipful, I hear the logical connection. And as high priest, Masonry consists of a lot of tools.
Yes.
A lot of tools. Whether you want your side, Blue House has a lot of tools. But when you take the entire craft itself, I've come to the conclusion that it's nothing you in a stronger or a found relationship with your deity, whomever it may be.
And you're absolutely correct. This is why we say volume of sacred law. Now, what is your volume of sacred law? And let me tell you why I say that. Because even in my jurisdiction, when individuals come in, they say, yeah, I believe in supreme being, but I don't want to take my oath or my obligation upon the Bible. Yeah, I do believe in supreme being, but I don't want to take my oath or my obligation upon the Quran. Well, what book do you want? Some have chosen, hear me clearly, chosen the constitution of the jurisdiction. They said that, hey, I prefer making my obligation, my vow, upon the constitution of the organization. And I thought about that. So you do, in the process, promise and swear that you would abide by all the rules and regulations of what? This jurisdiction. So there's nothing wrong with that. So but the process is that supreme being is the key. That is just one of the attributes of being part of this great organization, that you believe in a supreme being by whatever name you choose to call him or her. You know.
You know, Brother John, I think some months ago, the next scripture that Bible parable together, and I think it was in the Psalms where he said, "For the ground of the earth has to shake, but they do not know they walk around his altars. I see shall come. Your altars for the Most High." So he's giving you a hint, because if you're in darkness, he's telling you, you just don't know what you're capable of. And Christ said, so it's right there. It's right there.
But it's right there, but most of us don't believe we can do that type of work.
And I think the reason that is because the way our the way they were living, they don't let you see Christ making his way up from man to God. They don't show you the deity God. They don't show him making his way up. There's a certain point in scripture when he said he was like wax, and he was like wax, he turned, he come. So he wasn't always like that.
And this is why you have 12 years of his life missing. His Lord self. Ooh wee. Boy, you gonna make me go pull my Quran out tonight. Right? Whoa. Dang, you broke that down. I likes that. I likes that right there. Him being a master teacher and having to know all things. Death is one thing that he did not know, so he had to go through that initiation. And right. Correct. And I call it initiation only because when you look at being a Mason, is that process on an esoteric side of things. This is why in some places you go, they actually take you to a cemetery. In some places you go, they actually put you in a coffin. In some places you go, it's pretty intense. Depends on where you at in your initiation process. It's true. You know, I would say America has some of the most, as far as its initiation process, it's tame. But you go to Haiti. You go to Haiti, you go down to Mexico, south of the border here in Tijuana. There's a whole nother world down there. You initiate what? I'm just saying. America initiation into these different degrees is tame compared to outside of the boundaries. And this is why Freemasonry is such a beloved and yet feared organization. Depends on where you're at. Some places fear Freemasons. You wouldn't dare walk around with any emblem identifying you as a Mason. Some places love Freemasons. You know, you walk around proud. I got my Nikes, my 33rd, 32nd degree, and I got rings. You know, it is what it is. But in some parts of this world, it ain't happening that way. And this is what we have to consider. You know, this is how we have to look at it. Mm. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get ready to wrap it up in about 3 minutes. I'm going to say this. The birth into a new existence is the deliverance in the question of a new beginning. And I'm going to leave it at that. So anybody else got anything else they want to add? We've been on here almost an hour. I just want to say I thank everybody for coming on, and especially the 2 callers here. And Brother Christopher, I think we're gonna have to go ahead and send you that charter, brother. I don't think we would not be having a grand session. We're gonna make sure we go ahead and send you what you need. So I've already talked to Grandmaster about it. And you want to give your lodge a shout out? You want to let people know where you at? I appreciate that. So if you're in Louisiana, and if you're looking to become a Mason, yes, I am promoting my jurisdiction. I don't usually do it, but this time I'm doing it. So shoot me. If you're down in Louisiana, you get with Brother Christopher, Valley of the Kings, number 3, what? 360. You need to holler at him. And as a matter of fact, why don't you go ahead and put your information in the chat, brother? And there's somebody, they down that way, they may want to holler at you. I appreciate that. My brother from Atlanta, holler at me. What jurisdiction is that, brother? Hey, you're certainly welcome to do that. And when I come down back through Atlanta, once this is hopefully once this is settled, we all can begin our journeys and our travels as far as visitation is concerned. But I'm gonna say this: there may come a time, and I've said it before, that we see Masonry now as this great fraternity order. We got the mainstream Grand Lodges have great buildings, and they do a lot for their community, philanthropy. What's the word I'm looking for? That's the word right there. You know, and we also do the same thing in our community. That's great. There just may come a time that we may not be able to wear these rings and front so freely as we do, because we may be considered a threat.
And when that time comes, you don't know what you're supposed to know. You're going to be out there cold.
Yeah, that is true. That is so true. Absolutely. And here's something I want you to seriously think about. During the time of World War II, those Jews who were Masons, and they were Masons, they took a four-leaf clover. I want to say yellow. It could be blue, but I know they took a four-leaf clover, and that's how they identified who was who in that camp. So Freemasons were ones who was in that camp, be it a Jew or there were some black people in that camp. Let's not forget, we're all over the world. So don't just think, oh, the Jews, 6 million burned by the hands of Hitler in that camp. There was some of us there. So when we begin to see us as a people abroad, not just here in the United States, but a people of the planet, of the earth, we know we've been in every war, every situation. We've been experimented upon. Look, bro, I can go on and on, but I'm gonna go back to something that Brother Christopher, you were saying earlier about recognition. Okay, I'm gonna share this with you. About a week ago, a police officer in Kentucky was found guilty and lost his job because he told another police officer, a rookie, if you see anybody black and you shoot them, you'll get off. And he was a Mason, mainstream from Kentucky. That's a fact. It was on television. And this was going around in the Prince Hall chat group until they took it out. Okay, I just got word. It was a yellow inverted triangle. Okay, thank you. That's what it was in the Jewish camp. Thank you, there, Brother Larry Diamond. I appreciate it. He corrected me. Wow. Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't know that. I've heard of the Trails of Tears, but I didn't know that. Okay. Okay. So yeah, you can go look this story up, and you'll find out for yourself. It was, like I said, it was, you can probably YouTube it, about a Kentucky police officer and his correspondence to this rookie. And he told the rookie, he said, look, you come across some black guys, you can let them have it. You're gonna get off. And it was, he said it personally, he said it through his text messages. That's how they caught him. Yeah, and he was a mainstream Mason. So talk back to me if you like that. Mm. Wow, I can't repeat that again. Wow. Now that's interesting. Whole nother level. All right. Well, brother, that's why they didn't want us they didn't let us in the beginning. They already knew it. You know. Oh man, it's hard for some of us to get that. Come on now. You You're talking about a revolution. We ain't ready for no revolution. Well, I ain't gonna say we are not. Some of us are not ready for a revolution. Some of us like being on the plantation because if we get off, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. That is true. Yeah. And that's deep in its own. So, hey, brother Larry Diamond, if you're able to hear me, for those who would like to make a donation to this page, because like I said, next month we want to start giving out at least a couple of books, one on the Eastern Star and one on the Freemasons, information purposes, and we want to start giving that out. And because we want this channel to be more than just you coming to hear some rhetoric or you coming to hear. We want to be able to assist and aid and give out information. So if you want to make a donation to the page, you can do that through the PayPal at Hosea Lodge at yahoo.com. That is through PayPal. And if you black, you're going to spell Jose with an H. I'm just saying. HOSEALODGE at yahoo.com. We certainly would appreciate it. But until next time, gentlemen, I want to say thank you for coming on. You each are welcome to come on anytime you want to. The previous video that I have up with the same title, that video is going to be deleted. Man, I was on one too. I felt good too, bro. I was just in a whole nother spot. But so so look, enjoy. Say what? Uh-huh. But I'm trusting that you are who you say you are. Well, I appreciate that, but bro, okay. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do it too. I'm telling you, when I get ready to make that journey, I'm gonna definitely hit you up in Atlanta. No doubt about it. So text me over that, and I'll save it in my phone. And then when you give me a call, I know exactly who you are, and definitely we will be getting together. All right, everybody, good? All minds clear? All right, then. At the sound of the gavel, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Everybody, whatever you do, keep your light on and stay out the bushes. Peace, love, and stay square on your journey. I'm out. Thanks, brothers. I appreciate it, man. I really do. And take care of yourselves, all right?